Hey guys, this is Jenna with Hill Valley Farm, and we have been spending a lot of time this summer doing some dairy goat shows. And so I wanted to do a kind of a quick recap and highlights on how it's been going and what we've been doing and what is next on our radar in the way of shows. So let's get started. We start with the Smoky Mountain Dairy Goat Association Christmas in July show on July 9th, 2022. Sky did exceptionally well in this show. She placed second in 2 rings and first in one of the rings. And so we were really, really happy with her performance at this particular show. Isabella, in her turn, did really well in one of the rings. She placed third in her class. So once again, we were really excited with how Isabella performed. The 3-year-old class is always a really, really hard competitive class, and Lila held her own, placing 8th, 5th, and 4th. And I just love this girl's udder. As you can see, it is just so socked on. Lily stayed steady. She ended up placing 5th and once in 6th in all rings. And so once again, Lily held her own, and we're just really happy with Lily. Risky Business did extremely well in her class of the aged does, the same class as Lily. She ended up placing third and in one ring and second in 2 of the rings. All in all, we really had a lot of fun. Got caught up with some of our goat friends and just really had a good time together. It was the biggest show that Smoky Mountain Dairy Goat Association has put on in the history of the club. Next is the Anderson County Fair 4-H Dairy Goat Show that we put on with our 4-H group. First was Hill Valley Fly Me to the Moon. This was Moon's show debut, and she did absolutely excellent, winning first place in her class and ended up winning first place junior doe. Next we have Lily, who ended up winning first place in her class and reserve overall champion dairy doe. Next was Butterfly, first place in her class, but ended up getting beat by Moon in the junior dairy does. Sky did extremely well, placing first in her class, but then also coming back and winning the Grand Champion Dairy Doe. What is better than showing? It's also incorporating your love of showing with others. And this little girl ended up falling in love with Sky and just loving showing. And so we are super happy that she has joined us in the show world. There was also a costume contest, as you can see. Kaden was a beekeeper and Lily was the bee. Next up, Putnam County Fair in Cookeville, Tennessee. This one was a really fun one, so let's get going. First was the youth show, and Kaden showed Lily and a couple others, and several others in the youth show. Then showmanship. Oh my goodness, look at all these kids. It was phenomenal and made our hearts so happy. Kaden ended up winning 4th out of this humongous group of kiddos, and we were just super happy with how he did. And as you can see here, the goats are having quite some fun. This was also Hill Valley Roll the Dice's show debut. She did absolutely excellent. She ended up going 5th and 4th in 1 ring and 2 rings, and then 6th in another ring. She also, and this was out of, I believe, 15 junior does. So we were super thrilled with how she did in her show debut. In this show, Moon was kind of all over the place. She ended up, the best that she did was placing 4th out of 23 juniors. So that was really, really good. Alice did really well this show. She placed 4th and 3rd, and the last ring she placed 7th. But that was out of several dry yearlings, and so that was impressive. Sky won 4th and 2nd in a couple different rings, and then 1st place in another ring, and also ended up winning Best Udder in that ring. So we were, again, super happy about Sky. Isabella did awesome in her turn, placing first place in 2 of the rings and also winning Best Udder in 1 of the rings. So once again, Hill Valley Isabella really did extremely well, and we are so proud of her. Once again, the 3-year-old class was mentioned that this was one of the hardest 3-year-old classes to judge by the judges, and in this class, Lila ended up placing first in 1 ring and third in the other, and we were just so extremely happy with how she did. Lily really struggled in this show. She was excused from 1 of the rings, or 2 of the rings actually. She did not make the top 10. But then in another ring she placed 7th. So overall, that was really good for the kind of competition that Lily was really up against. Next is Vista Oaks Risky Business. Risky was basically the highlight of our weekend, and in both rings on Sunday, she ended up going in the Grand Champion lineup. And so we have a couple videos for you to see. Here they are.
You see her a little smoother across the top line, maybe a little more angular and tighter with those shoulders. My age show here at the head of the line is a 5-year-old though. She's carried a few extra pounds. I'd like to see her a little bit thinner. I will tell you this right off the I'd like to see her a little thinner. But when you put your hands on her, she is incredibly dairy. She has a really beautiful mammary out here. And when we're looking at a yearling 1 lactation, a 2-year-old with 1, a 3 and 3, a 4 and 3, and a 5 and 4, give due consideration to age and stage of lactation for the correct mammary after these lactations that she's held so high against that body wall, the dip in that barrel, the strength and power throughout. My age show is my champion. We're going to pull her over to the table. I need a 2nd place age show in the ring. Are you crying? All right, I love you.
So as you can see in ring 1, Vista Oaks Risky Business won a Grand Champion leg, which was actually her 2nd leg ever. And so as you can also see, Sky and Lila were in the Grand Champion ring as well. In the next ring, we have Isabella in the 2-year-old spot, and again, Risky in the Aged Doe spot.
Well, beautiful lineup out here for the selection of our champion Nigerian senior doe. I'm going to tell you 5 lovely does out here. A yearling doe back here that really excels in strength of the mammary system. I love the strength of udder support on this doe, the height of that river attachment, the general appearance that she exhibits, great substance of bone about her, great levelness and correctness. Not quite the width, depth, and power as I see in like this 3 and up class up here. And for me, that's where the competition today really lies. The 3-year-old, the 4-year-old, the 5-year-old, all of these animals are really just carrying great examples of strength of mammary. I admire the udder support on these does, the height of udder floor, the width of the mammaries throughout. For me, the doe that just really puts it together the best today is a doe that I feel just has a slight advantage in general appearance, more levelness and correctness. And today she just carries a little more strength in that girder. She filled out a little better overnight, and that's the age doe at the top of the ring.
She finished. Just so you know, we were all cheering.
That was exciting.
So in ring 2, Vista Oaks Risky Business became a finished champion, and it was a humongous moment for Caden and for myself, but also for Lacey at Vista Oaks Farm. We were so excited that she was there watching, and she got to see her precious Risky finish. Also in ring 2, Risky won Best Udder, and so that was just the icing on the cake for the entire day, and we are just so proud of Risky, and we are just so happy that she is with us in our herd, and we just love her so incredibly much. So overall, the Putnam County Fair, as you can see here, was a huge success for Hill Valley Farm. We will definitely be going back. Next is the Tennessee State Fair in Lebanon, Tennessee. It was so exciting because we got to have Mirabella with us, and her leg was all healed, and she's doing perfectly great. In ring 2, Hill Valley Wonderland's Alice ended up in 3rd place, which was a really great placing for her. Sky placed 4th in one ring and 3rd in the other ring. out of 8 does, and they were super competitive, so we were happy with that. Isabella placed 4th and 5th, 4th in one ring, 5th in the other ring, right behind Sky in both rings, so that was also very great. Lily ended up doing actually very well, placing 3rd in one of the rings out of 8 does. That was also very, very good for Miss Lily, and this is actually my favorite picture of the entire weekend that I took. Lily is Caden's special girl, and so I just figured this picture just shows it all. And as usual, during breaks when our breed was not showing, Caden and his buddies got to play some Uno, and all fun was had by everyone, including the juniors, Dicey, Moon, and Mirabella. Again, we were so excited to have Mirabella with us. And of course, here's Butterfly giving me the best side eye ever. So, all in all, it's been a really, really fantastic summer. As you can see, we've been extremely busy with shows. There have just been a lot, but that's what we wanted. That's exactly what we wanted this year. I have a few thank yous. First of all, obviously, thank you to Lacey at Vista Oaks Farm, as always, for trusting us with Risky and Tuscany. And I was just so excited that she got to be there and see Risky finish. That was amazing. It was just an amazing moment. What's in store for us next? So it is now September, and I've been working on that video for a while now, but it is now September, and we are looking at 2 more shows, and that will close out our season of shows. The next show that we will be at is the Tennessee Valley Fair, September 17th and 18th. So if you are in the area, definitely come and say hey. And so we will be there showing our girls. And then the very last show that we're planning is the end of September, which is the Fort Payne, Alabama. It's in Fort Payne, Alabama. I think it's the DeKalb County Fair. And it is, I liked it. We went there. Sorry, I thought I had a yellow jacket. We went there last year and we did really well, and I really enjoyed it a lot. It was one of those shows that's easy to get to right off the interstate, kind of like Cookeville, and then it's just easy, like unloading and loading, and it's really good. So we're planning to do that, and that will be the last one of the year for us in showing, and so we'll see what we do. And then now our focus is actually turning towards breeding season. I've actually bred 4 does already, and so I will be sharing that with you very, very soon, and who and why we chose who we chose, and even our breeding plans. I also have a surprise coming up in the very next video, so, and it won't be that long. I know it's been a little bit since we've recorded a video, so it won't be very long at all. So be watching for this very big surprise coming to Hill Valley Farm. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching. And we now have a finished champion. It's so exciting. So if you want on our reservation list, you know where to find us. We have Facebook, Instagram, obviously here. We have a website, and I always list that at the bottom of in the description below. Definitely subscribe to us and like the video and thumbs up, comment, click the notification bell, do all those things, because you're definitely going to want to see what is coming our way, or is here actually already. I just need to do the footage. So stay tuned for that. And with that said, I hope you guys have an awesome goat field day.